The world stopped when whispers of a secret divorce between Hollywood's golden couple, Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas, erupted in 2025. After 25 years of marriage, 3 sprawling estates sold in silence, and a chilling distance growing between them, the question burned: was this the end of their iconic love story, or was something far darker at play? Catherine, radiant at 55, dazzled on London's red carpet for her new film Kill Jackie, her emerald gown catching every flash. Thousands of miles away, Michael, 80, sat alone in their New York penthouse, scrolling through her headlines. No cameras caught him. No one mentioned his name. To the world, they were untouchable, married since 2000, parents to Dylan and Karis, survivors of cancer, mental health struggles, and a brief 2013 separation. But cracks had formed, not with explosive fights, but a slow, deliberate drift. They're living separate lives, a Radar Online source said in May 2025. Catherine's thriving without him. The signs were subtle but damning. Their Bermuda mansion, Longford House, listed for $12 million. Their Majorca estate followed at $32.4 million. By April, their New York penthouse, their family haven, hit the market for $7 million. Fans wondered, were they downsizing as empty nesters, or dividing assets for a divorce? It's a silent agreement to part, an insider claimed. Catherine, vibrant and career-driven, filmed across continents, her Instagram a gallery of glamour from Paris to Tokyo. Michael, semi-retired since 2022, stayed behind, his frail appearance at rare outings sparking concern. The 25-year age gap, once a quirky footnote, now loomed large. He's not the man she married, a source confided. She's his caretaker, not his wife. Their love began like a Hollywood script. In 1998, at the Deauville Film Festival, a 53-year-old Michael, fresh off Basic Instinct, met a 28-year-old Catherine, the star of The Mask of Zorro. Sparks flew, orchestrated by Danny DeVito over dinner. I told her I'd be the father of her children, Michael recalled on the Ellen DeGeneres show, his grin boyish. By 1999, they were engaged. In 2000, they wed in a $1.5 million Plaza Hotel ceremony, with Tom Hanks, Brad Pitt, and Goldie Hawn among guests. They faced trials: Michael's throat cancer in 2010, Catherine's bipolar disorder diagnosis in 2011, their 2013 split. Yet they reconciled, their bond seemingly unbreakable. "We work things out," Catherine told People in 2015. But by 2025, that resolve seemed gone. Public appearances dwindled. Their last joint outing was a quiet dinner in Los Angeles in 2024, where Catherine's forced smile fueled rumors. Michael's absence from her Kill Jackie premiere was glaring. "She's embracing her freedom," a friend told In Touch. "He's holding her back." The property sales told a colder story. Their Bermuda home, where they'd hosted lavish parties, was emptied without fanfare. The Majorca estate, a gift from Michael's father, Kirk, was stripped of memories. The New York penthouse, where Dylan and Karis grew up, was the final blow. "It's not about money," an insider said. "It's about erasing their shared past." Rumors of a trial separation surfaced on X, with users dissecting Catherine's solo posts. "She looks happier alone," one wrote. Others defended Michael, citing his health struggles. "He's a legend, not a burden," another argued. No official statement came. Their reps deflected, calling the sales investment decisions. But the silence was loud. "They've agreed on everything," a source told Us Weekly. "The divorce is just paperwork now." Catherine's focus on her career, new films, a Netflix deal, a wellness brand, contrasted with Michael's retreat. His last X post, a throwback to Wall Street, felt like a goodbye to his prime. The age gap, once romantic, now strained them. At 55, Catherine was in her renaissance, her beauty and talent undimmed. Michael, nearing 81, battled fatigue and memory issues, per Globe. She loves him but resents the role she's in, a friend said. Their children, Dylan, 24, and Karis, 22, were caught in the middle, reportedly urging talks. They want their parents happy, even apart, the friend added. Yet, some speculated a twist. Was Catherine's ambition outpacing loyalty? Was Michael's pride pushing her away? Or was this a mutual choice, a quiet exit from a love that had run its course? Catherine stood in her Rome hotel suite, the Tiber River glinting through the window. Her phone buzzed with messages from her team about Kill Jackie's box office success. She scrolled past a text from Karis, "Dad's not himself. Can you call him?" She sighed, setting the phone down. The guilt gnawed at her. She loved Michael, but the man who once swept her off her feet was fading. Their last real conversation, months ago, ended in silence when she mentioned her next project in Australia. "You're always leaving," he'd said, his voice brittle. She hadn't known how to respond. Michael, meanwhile, sat in their Montecito estate, a glass of untouched scotch on the table. The house felt too big, too empty. He flipped through a photo album, Catherine in her wedding dress, Dylan's first birthday, Karis learning to surf. He lingered on a 2001 shot from Bermuda, Catherine laughing as he spilled champagne. That Michael, vibrant, unstoppable, was gone. He knew she deserved more than a husband who needed help tying his shoes. But admitting it felt like surrender. The media frenzy grew. TMZ ran a story claiming Catherine had consulted a divorce lawyer in London. Page 6 alleged Michael was devastated but too proud to beg. Ex-users spun wild theories, a secret affair, a financial scandal, even a staged split for publicity. One post, with 10,000 likes, read, "Catherine's glowing because she's free. Michael's just collateral damage." Another, with 8,000 retweets, countered, "She's abandoning a sick man. Where's the loyalty?" The truth, as always, was messier. Their children tried to bridge the gap. Dylan, a budding musician, flew to Montecito to spend a weekend with Michael, strumming guitar while his father reminisced about Fatal Attraction. Karis, studying fashion in Paris, FaceTimed Catherine daily, probing gently. "Are you okay, Mom? Really okay?" Catherine's answers were vague, her smile strained. Both kids sensed the inevitable but clung to hope. "They're not kids anymore," a family friend told Variety. "They see the marriage for what it is, a partnership that's run its course." The property sales continued. Their Welsh cottage, a nod to Catherine's Swansea roots, was listed for $4 million. Each sale felt like a chapter closing. "They're liquidating their life together," a real estate broker told Forbes. Their $350 million fortune, stocks, trusts, art, complicated matters. A prenup, signed in 2000, reportedly protected Michael's pre-marriage assets, but California's community property laws could spark disputes. "They're avoiding a public war," a lawyer said. "But it's still a negotiation." Catherine's career soared. Kill Jackie, a gritty thriller, grossed $200 million globally, cementing her as a bankable star. Her Netflix deal, a 3-picture contract, included a biopic on Sophia Loren, her dream role. She launched a wellness brand, Zeta-Vita, with yoga retreats and skincare. "I'm living my truth," she told Vogue in a June 2025 cover story, sidestepping questions about Michael. Her silence spoke volumes. Michael, meanwhile, retreated further. His last public appearance, a charity golf event in March, showed a frail man leaning on a cane. "He's not well," a guest whispered to People. "But he's too stubborn to admit it." Friends took sides. Goldie Hawn, a longtime ally, reportedly called Catherine selfish for abandoning Michael. Others, like Gwyneth Paltrow, praised her reinvention. "She's a phoenix," Gwyneth posted on X, sparking debate. Michael's old pals, Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, stayed quiet, respecting his privacy. The Hollywood rumor mill churned. Was Catherine seeing someone new? Was Michael hiding a diagnosis? No evidence supported the wildest claims, but the absence of denials fueled them. Flashback to 2013, their first separation. Catherine had checked into a clinic for bipolar treatment, while Michael grappled with the fallout of his cancer recovery. They lived apart for 6 months, communicating through lawyers. It was brutal, Catherine later told Oprah. But we fought for each other. They reunited, stronger, or so it seemed. This time felt different. There were no public spats, no tabloid leaks of texts or voicemails. Just a quiet unraveling. They're too classy for a messy divorce, a publicist told The Hollywood Reporter. But that doesn't mean it's painless. Catherine's Rome shoot wrapped in July. She flew to Paris to meet Karis, hoping to clear her head. Over coffee in Montmartre, Karis asked the question Catherine dreaded, "Are you leaving Dad?" Catherine's eyes welled up. "I don't know," she admitted. "I love him, but I'm drowning." Karis hugged her, torn between her parents. Back in Montecito, Dylan confronted Michael. "You're letting her go," he said. Michael's jaw tightened. "She's already gone, son." The breaking point came in August. Catherine returned to Montecito for a family meeting. The air was thick with unspoken truths. Michael, seated in his study, looked older than ever. "I can't keep up with you," he said, his voice steady but raw. "You deserve to fly." Catherine's heart broke. She wanted to argue, to promise they'd fix it, but the words wouldn't come. Instead, she nodded, tears falling. They agreed to separate, quietly, with no press release. Their lawyers would handle the rest. By September, the media caught wind. The Sun ran a headline, "Zeta-Jones and Douglas, it's over." Paparazzi staked out Catherine's London flat, where she'd relocated for pre-production on the Loren biopic. Michael stayed in Montecito, issuing a brief statement via his publicist, "Catherine and I are taking time apart. We ask for privacy." The internet exploded. Ex-posts ranged from heartbreak, "They were my OTP," to cynicism, "She's trading him in for a younger model." A few praised their grace, no mudslinging. Class acts. The divorce, if finalized, would be complex. Their fortune included a $50 million art collection, a private jet, and stakes in production companies. The prenup, while ironclad, left room for negotiation over joint earnings. "They'll settle privately," a legal expert told Bloomberg. "But it'll take months." Dylan and Karis, now splitting time between parents, issued a joint Instagram post, "We love Mom and Dad. Please respect their journey." Fans flooded the comments with support, though some accused the kids of picking sides. Catherine threw herself into work. The Loren biopic began filming in October, her performance already generating Oscar buzz. She avoided interviews, letting her art speak. Michael, meanwhile, started writing a memoir, tentatively titled Last Act. Friends said it was therapeutic, a way to process his legacy. He dedicated a chapter to Catherine, calling her "the fire in my soul." When a draft leaked to Vanity Fair, fans wept. "He still loves her," one ex-user posted. "Why can't they try again?" November 2025. Catherine stood on a Naples set, channeling Sophia Loren's defiance. Between takes, she checked her phone, texts from Dylan, a missed call from Michael. She hesitated, then dialed back. "Hey," she said softly. "Hey," he replied, his voice warm. They talked for an hour, not about divorce or assets, but about Dylan's new song, Karis's fashion line, "The Old Days in Bermuda." It wasn't reconciliation, but it was something. A flicker of the connection that had defined them. The world still waits for answers. No papers have been filed, no final decree announced. Some hold out hope for a reunion, citing their 2013 comeback. Others see this as the end, a love story undone by time. Their homes, once filled with laughter, stand empty or sold. Their red carpets, once shared, now belong to Catherine alone. Yet, in the quiet moments, her calls, his memoir, they remain tied, not by contracts or rings, but by 25 years of shared history. Hollywood loves a comeback, but not every story ends with a kiss. Sometimes, love means letting go. As Catherine shines and Michael reflects, their legacy endures, not in mansions or headlines, but in the family they built and the world they captivated. The final act is theirs to write, together or apart. The Naples sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the set of Catherine Zeta-Jones' Sophia Loren biopic. At 55, she was magnetic, embodying Loren's fiery spirit with every take. Between scenes, she sat in her trailer, staring at her phone. Michael's call from last week lingered in her mind, the warmth in his voice, the ease of their banter about Dylan's music and Karis's designs. It wasn't a promise of reconciliation, but it was a crack in the wall they'd built. She hesitated, then texted him, "Thinking of you. How's the memoir?" His reply came fast, slow. "You're a tough chapter to write. Call me later?" Her heart skipped. For the first time in months, she felt a pull, not to the past, but to something undefined. Back in Montecito, Michael Douglas, now 81, sat in his study, the memoir manuscript scattered across his desk. The leaked chapter to Vanity Fair had caused a stir, with fans on X dissecting his words about Catherine. "She was the fire in my soul, and I was the fool who thought I could keep up." He hadn't meant for it to go public, but the response, thousands of posts urging them to reunite, made him wonder. Could they? Or was he clinging to a ghost? Dylan, sprawled on the couch nearby, strummed his guitar. "You miss her, don't you?" he asked. Michael sighed. "Every damn day." The media frenzy hadn't slowed. TMZ ran a new story claiming Catherine had been spotted with a mystery man in Rome, a producer on her film, 45 and Charming. The grainy photos showed them laughing over coffee, her hand brushing his arm. X exploded with speculation. "She's moved on," one user posted, with 15,000 likes. Another countered, "It's just work. Leave her alone." Catherine's team issued a rare statement: "Ms. Zeta-Jones is focused on her craft. These rumors are baseless." But the damage was done. Michael saw the headlines, his jaw tightening. He didn't believe it, not fully, but doubt crept in. Their children felt the strain. Karis, in Paris, called Dylan in a panic. "Is Mom really dating someone?" she asked. Dylan, who'd spoken to Catherine, shook his head. "It's tabloid crap." But Dad's rattled. They agreed to intervene, organizing a family Zoom call. When Catherine and Michael joined, the tension was palpable. "We're worried about you both," Karis said, her voice steady. "You're not talking, and the world's filling in the blanks." Catherine glanced at Michael's pixelated face. "We're fine," she said, but her tone betrayed her. Michael stayed quiet, his eyes distant. The call didn't fix things, but it forced a shift. Catherine flew to Montecito in December, unannounced. Michael was in the garden, pruning roses, a hobby he'd picked up to stay active. He froze when he saw her. "You didn't call," he said, half smiling. "Didn't want you to overthink it," she replied. They walked the grounds, talking about everything but the divorce. She noticed his slower gait, the cane leaning against a chair. He saw her restless energy, the way her eyes darted to her phone. "You're still my Kate," he said softly. She touched his arm. "And you're still my Michael." That night, over dinner, they finally addressed the elephant in the room. "Are we doing this?" Catherine asked, her voice low. "The divorce?" Michael set down his fork. "I don't want to hold you back. But I don't want to lose you." She reached for his hand. "I'm not gone." I'm just lost." They agreed to pause the legal talks, to try therapy, not to save the marriage, but to understand what they wanted. "No promises," Catherine said. Michael nodded. "Just us." The therapy sessions, held via Zoom with a discreet Beverly Hills counselor, were raw. Catherine admitted her resentment. "I feel like I'm living for both of us." Michael confessed his fear. "I'm fading, and I don't want you to see it." The counselor pushed them to redefine their roles, not as husband and wife, but as partners in a new chapter. It wasn't easy. Some sessions ended in silence, others in tears. But they kept going, driven by a stubborn love neither could deny. By January 2026, the media narrative shifted. People ran a story: Zeta-Jones and Douglas in therapy to save marriage. Ex-users were divided. Some called it a PR stunt, others a testament to their bond. "They're fighting for it," one post read, with 20,000 retweets. The property sales slowed, the Welsh cottage was pulled from the market. Catherine wrapped her film and joined Michael in Montecito for a quiet Valentine's Day. Paparazzi caught them walking hand in hand, her laugh echoing. The photos went viral, sparking hope. But challenges remained. Michael's health was fragile. A heart scare in February landed him in the hospital for a week. Catherine stayed